Okay, interpenetration for our grade 11 work. In figure 9, we are showing the top view. We also have our incomplete front view and an auxiliary view of a right square prism that has been shaped to fit around a regular hexagonal prism. The axes of both solids lie in a common vertical plane. Basically, this solid here, and this is the branch solid, which is also here. They both lie on the same center line. Draw the following views of both solids. Number one is the given top view, which is this. And then we have to complete the front view, clearly showing the line of intersection that is formed between the two solids. Then we will develop the surface of the branch solid, and this is your branch solid here. There is your branch solid, right? So there's something that they're not telling you here. We need to have endpoints. We also need to have turning points. These two views are given. Of course, you are going to draw these two views using these dimensions. Then, something which they're not telling you is that the position of this square here is very correct in terms of where they put it. So, if I draw this, then it means I need to get my 45-degree line here. And I need to get the left view of the main solid. Let's get the left view of the main solid. Let's get the main view of that main solid. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's the height. We draw that height. Right? So it goes on the other side. It also goes on the other side. Right? So here it should have been here. So now that we know this view here, that we need, but they'll never tell you to draw this view. They don't tell you to do that. But you're looking for the turning points when you draw this view. You are looking for the turning points, which are that one, that's your turning point. That will be your other turning point. That will be your other turning point. And there's your other turning point. So those turning points are important for you to project to the front view, although they don't tell you to do that. So I'm going to take you through how then do we do all of these, which I'm talking about here. So what's important that you must always consider is that the position of this auxiliary view is always in a right position in terms of you projecting your left view or your right view. Now let us see then how do I start drawing this. So this is what we're talking about. There's our two views given, the front view and our top view with this auxiliary view placed on the right hand side. I said to you, then we have to draw the left view. So in other words, we need to project this to our 45-degree line. So we need to project this first to our 45-degree line. It goes across, and that one goes across. Then you bring your 45-degree line. So there's your 45-degree line which you used. Now we're going to draw going up. Remember, we now have to construct going up. All this construction will give us this view, which is our left view, inside or on this ox view. So let's just continue to do this construction going up. All this construction going up, you can see that is cutting through our auxiliary view, and thereafter let's get our height. That's your height. And at the bottom here, this is your bottom base, because this is a prism. So with this then, let's just quickly trim what you don't need. We will not see this and we will not see that. And as well as, let's just quickly trim here, so that we darken the things that we see here, which are everything there is now dark. Likewise here, all that's dark. Now there we go. You see now, we have found this turning point, that turning point, that turning point, that turning point. So the importance of drawing this view here is just to find the turning points. The importance of having this constructed helps you find the turning points. So because without the turning points, your drawing will not be correct. Now, what we will then do is we need to number these endpoints. Remember, these are endpoints. These are turning points. So if we say that's number 1, that will become A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D. We've got to place the numbers here on the left view. Let us quickly do that. So there's our numbers now. 1, A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, D. Now what's important also is that I always choose to go in one direction, whether it's numbers or alphabets. In this case here, I've said 1 on top, and I'm going in a clockwise direction. So that's why that's number 2, that's number 3, that's number 4. Then we go back to 1. Then my turning points, I also did the same thing. A is my first point from 1 going to 2. So when I go from 1, I need to get to 2. But then there is a turning point that I pass through, which is A. Hence I'm going in a clockwise direction. B, C, D. I could have gone the opposite direction, which is anti-clockwise. I would have said 1, 2. Then I would have said A here. That's my belief, that if I do it like that, then it makes sense to me. If I go from 1, I get to 2, but I need to go through A first before I get into 2. So what we need to do now is match these numbers here on our front view and do the same thing on the top view. Have these numbers labeled here and there so that it makes sense when we are matching them. So I'm going to quickly put down the labels for these corners also so that they match what I have here. So as it looks now, coming from this position here, that's 3, and that's 1 on top. 2, that's 2. 4, that will be 4. Now across on our front view, that's 1, that's 4 and 2, that's 3. So now all you need to do now, let's quickly remove these which may obstruct our vision. Now we need to deal with the endpoints. If I place my T square and the Z square on 4 vertical line, it lines up with 2. I then project number 4 up construction line. That's number 4 and 2. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to bring 4 and 2. So same time here, I've found 4 and 2. So I'm going to put a label here, 4, 2. I've got that label. Once I've done that, now I then go to the next line, which is in this case 1 and 3. 1 and 3 is in this position, and that's where 1 is, in that position. So those 2 points are already found. So this here, then I can label this number 1. This is now your 1, and at the bottom here I have number 3. So I have number 3. Now it means I am done with the end points. Now I need to find the turning points. Remember, turning points are on this line, and that line, and that line, A, B. and DC. So it means they are basically on this corner. So when they go up on this corner. Right? So T square, if I line B goes through C, is the same point, and this is where it will end. That's where my turning point is, C and B. Likewise on top, B, or rather D and A, same point. So I'm going to draw this line, that's where my end point is. Alright, so I want to label this so that when I'm joining this, it's clear that this is AD and this is BC. Having all these labels, then it says, when I'm joining these points, I need to follow this pattern here. 1 goes to A, goes to 2, goes to B, goes to 3, goes to C, 4, D, back to 1. So that's what I'll be doing now. From 1, I go to A. From A, I go to 2. From 2, I go to B. From B, I go down to 3. From 3, I repeat the same way, I go to C. C, I go to 4. 4, I go back to D. And D, I go back to number 1. Basically, that's how you find the points and the line of intersection. So I will then draw this dark, that's dark, that's dark, that's dark, and finally that's dark. So this is your answer. There's your hidden detail that is always there. Why is 1 to A dark? From this position, gentlemen and ladies, coming from top, we can see up to this point here. From the top base to A we can see. From the top base to A we can see. But here, there's hidden details. That's why we have drawn that hidden detail. So this is how we find the line of intersection between the two solids.